I'm not gonna read all of the things that they took care of, but two of the ones here, there were 14 reports of dogs running loose, and 1 report of dog barking.
So, if
So,
you
I
make
mean-
yourself heard regularly, keep a log. Hang on one second, Sandy.
Oh, I was just gonna confirm, last night, we could hear the dogs barking from the condos, and I live in unit 27 at the other end, right next to number 4 Fairway, across the street from number 4 Fairway. And we puzzled about where it was coming from, and it definitely was coming from the condos. So I also have a neighbor that has small barking dogs, and I haven't done anything about it because of neighbor relations. After living in a large city, that can sometimes really cause problems. So I guess my question would be whether there's confidentiality or it's publicly posted that so-and-so complained about so-and-so.
Alan, you know the answer to that.
I'll post anything on who's complaining.
Yeah. He does not post.
Okay.
Is this the one that was filed in 2006, or is this?
Thank you.
Yes, and Angela.
Linda, you mentioned registering dogs. We used to do that.
Yeah.
If you go in the office, you'll find the 3 dogs I used to have registered with their pictures. Then the last dog I ever got, and I went up there, they couldn't find the forms. But we were doing that for quite a few years.
Well, that's part of this
And it was a simple
suggestion.
form, you know, picture of the dog, description,
And I think
rabies number.
I think we should do more than encourage the members. We should
But
require it.
my problem here is the wandering dogs. Where I've been attacked myself. You know, the 2 pit bulls that, they come down this end, they come through the fences, and they're down. I walk down here all the time. I don't go out unless I got something to squirt the dogs with. People are getting attacked. And I know we
Where
don't
are the
all
pit
come in
bulls coming
reports.
from?
They're coming across from town, they come across
Oh.
by, you know, and they come in by the swimming pool. And they're all around the fort. People should be keeping their dogs in. We can't stop the ones coming in from town. We got to do something about
The
that.
2 big Pyrenees coming in, they're coming from the
Yeah,
ranch
I
in the
think
back.
they're pretty harmless, but
They have been coming in quite a while.
Okay, well, they did for a while.
They fixed the fence back there. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, that's been.
They're big and they're a little scary.
oh, some of the pit bulls are getting in here.
They're lap dogs.
And the laws changed. The laws changed in January, Texas laws. We are not allowed to have tied up dogs anymore. We've still got them on the fort. From the middle of January, the Texas laws, and we better be following that.
January 22nd.
22nd, yes. I put it out the other day so everybody would know, but we still got too many tied up, and they're the worst ones for barking. You know, if you were tied up all day, hey, I'd be barking too. You know?
Well, I mean, I'm not arguing the point one or the other, but also, you know, we have wild animals roaming around
Yeah.
here in terms of deer and what have you. And I'm just wondering if some of the barking is due to these wild animals getting close to the property of some, you know, somebody who has dogs outside. I'm not saying it's right, I'm just saying that, you know, dogs will be barking at movement, if you will.
Well, we always know when there's a golfer out there.
That's right.
Yeah, so, you know,
Unfortunately, you don't hear it barking enough for us. We need more golfers.
Wait a minute, let's see, I think you were next.
Oh, thank you. Well, I chaired the revision of the rules and regs, and we did include barking dog issues, and recommended, based on the board approving, that if the manager, or the owner, I'm sorry, the owner of the dog would get a letter saying you have 30 days to comply with trying to get this dog under control, or we're going to send you a fine of $25. If it continues 30 days later, the fine is $50. So, I mean, put some teeth into it. We never got that approved by this board, so it's still hanging in limbo. And if I could help making it a little bit more detailed in terms of, you know, how long does barking have to continue before you file a complaint or whatever.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm a dog owner, as anybody could see by my mess, and I understand all of that, so I'd be glad to assist if you guys
Okay.
need.
That's good to know. Okay, hang on, one more, I got one over here.
Our neighbor has 2 dogs, and some people have 3 big dogs. This one has 2 dogs. I'll be very honest with you. We did go over to Mark's house because you cannot even sit in our backyard during the day. You cannot sit in our glider because I would think these dogs would have laryngitis. I really don't know. They just bark incessantly, and even they bark until after 10 o'clock. I did go over to talk to Chrissy, and Chrissy said that she was going to talk to Mark. They can't hear the dogs bark when they're in the front of their house, and they're very rarely in the back of their house. We did talk to them, and that's all we said, and nothing has been done, so I think we're going to try talking them again, but I don't know what to do with them either.
Yeah.
You know, you can't train a dog to not bark.
Yes,
Right.
you
You can buy a barking collar.
Yes, you
You can't.
Oh,
I think
yes.
you can't. The Grahams, Cayenne never barked unless she knew something was coming close to the fence. You
Okay.
know, Bob Boucher's dog doesn't go barking. But anyhow, those are my thoughts. We talked to our neighbor, we're seeing.
Sir?
We may examine the number of dogs within a household also. I can understand the litter of puppies. But once the puppies have grown up, the number should be, the court should set a maximum number
There
per
is.
people.
Is there?
There is a
Well,
number.
then it should be enforced. I don't know what the number is.
It depends on the unit, each unit's different.
It shouldn't be, it should be across the board, period.
Well,
You don't need 6 dogs, and you don't need 5 of them
No.
running.
I mean, we're allowed 3 in our unit, and some units are only 2. But I know there's a lot of people got
Well,
more.
it should be a fort rule.
Okay.
That's right.
All right, well, obviously, we don't have the solution right on hand for you that you'd like, but we will bring this to the attention of the entire board and see if we can expedite this so that you aren't sitting here a year from now saying the same thing.
We do have a solution, because in the current rules and regulations that we're living under, a dog can be considered a nuisance and a fine can be imposed. I think $25 is too cheap for what y'all have been dealing with the
Right.
same family of dogs this long.
Yes.
$250, I mean, you either get the dog a collar,
Yeah,
or you move the dog, but you can't keep destroying the peace of all these people.
The board has to set the fees. It
Yes.
cannot be an arbitrary.
Well, I'm just saying,
Okay, so we're gonna
it
write
does
that
25 is
down.
too cheap, but this is a discussion item, we can't take action on it at this meeting today, but it should become an action item for next meeting.
Okay.
You know, in conjunction with what you're saying, once the rules and regulations are officially approved, that there should be a violation assessment for every violation, and it should be followed through. If you got caught speeding, there should be a violation fine that you have to pay.
Do we have the staff to enforce this?
We just sent them a letter.
If we decide what our parameters are to enforce, yes.
Okay,
We do not have that.
the parameters.
We don't have specified definitions on what this means.
Okay, well, we need to get going on that.
Yes, ma'am.
Susan.
So I have 2 questions. One is, if we keep a log at the master's condos, what is that gonna
Well, what
do?
this has to be is that when we decide what a nuisance is, whether it's being called and listening to dogs barking 30 minutes a day, 15 days in a row, or whatever, then we can act on it. But there is no parameters of what the definition is yet.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to do.
Right.
Then we have to make the specified penalties for not doing it, which is not done. It can't just be, oh, well, your dogs are barking, we're gonna penalize you. We have to have, it has to be spelled out.
So, I mean, I guess my comment is, should we be, like, invest in a recording device?
I think just calling security would protect.
24/7 recording device? And then,
Calling security would protect the members.
well, and the other thing, you know, we are an HOA, and in our bylaws, the master's bylaws, we have a nuisance. We say, No disturbing, noxious, or offensive activity shall be carried on with any condominium unit, including garage sales. Nor shall anything be done therein which may be or become a nuisance, an annoyance, or shall infringe upon the rights of peaceful enjoyment of the adjacent units or endanger the health, safety, or welfare of the other owners than the condominium and their families, guests, or invitee. And so we are.
That statement cannot be enforced in any way.
I understand that, but as an HOA within Fort Clark Springs, you know, that's what we have.
Yeah.
I can't do anything as the HOA about what happens in the Fort Clark Springs
Right, but if
HOA.
we had wording like that, there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
That wording is so general that anything can apply to it, or anything can be excluded from it.
Well.
We have to have specific wording on what.
That's
the
all I've got
penalty
to work
is.
with,
Yeah.
and then we don't have anything more.
That's why we have to beef up the rules and regulations to be more specific. Then you can do something, you know. The one that I don't understand is that if somebody's dog is caught roaming around the fort, it sits down there at security in the cage until the owner can be, I guess, found and notified. But what happens when the owner comes and picks the dog up?
Pays a fine.
Do they?
Yeah, absolutely.
They should.
Any city, when they pick up the
They
dog.
should.
Yeah, I'm not arguing with you. My point being is.
There is nothing spelled out for that to
Well,
happen.
we need some spelling.
That's my
That's what we're
point.
doing.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, if you don't realize, we're in an era of litigation. And I don't want to start something that's going to start more litigation with this fort. So in other words, we have to spell it out very plain and make sure it goes through our lawyers that it is enforceable. And that's not going to happen overnight. I mean, we're working on it with them. I think we're getting close, but it's something that, you know, we can do a lot of things, but it may open up another can of worms that we don't want to deal with.
You really want me to put speed dial the gate
I don't
on
care.
there to call every time the dogs start barking? You want to get that many calls?
That's how we document things.
Okay, people, speed dial and let's do it.
That's what it takes.
Is the new system gonna be documenting that, the new system, the hotel system that we got up?
Yeah.
The HOA system will be
But it
documented, will
won't
be.
be public, yeah, but we will document it
There.
All right, well, we thank you for coming and expressing all your concerns. Maybe we can try to move this along, because I know it's important to all of you. Let's go to the discussion item number 2, the solar eclipse chain. The chain part is what confuses me. We all know what the solar eclipse is, right? 2024, it's coming right through here, we're right in the middle of it all. Travis has talked at length about wanting to get up and running with this, but I don't know what he intended to say today. So we'll just table that for next year, next month.
Yeah.
We got time.
Request for proposal, unit 22. Do you want to talk
It's
about
not
that?
unit 22, it's unit 7.
I thought it was,
It's next
I thought you said
Next-
7 and then
next-
turned it to 22, because it's been
No,
changed.
It was 7, we changed it.
Yeah, okay, all
It
right.
is 22.
I changed it to
Okay,
22.
we changed it, okay.
Yeah, so do you want to talk about that, or what? I don't care.
We have a request to do a trade for taking out some of our Fort-owned properties that need to be demolished. In exchange for the trade, they would take ownership of the land. There are a lot of pros and cons of that, but I can't see the board giving it to one person. I see putting parameters for doing that action and opening up for bids to do it.
To other people as well.
Right. I don't think you can take and pick and choose who you're gonna do it with. It has to be set up, this is what we wanna do. And the problem with 22 is that they wanna do small houses and things. 22 is a RV,
Approved,
CCR approved.
right.
It's not any permit, so it has, we can say, this is what we wanna do, give us your bids for doing, so we have 7 lots in a row. 2 of them have structures on them that need to be torn out. Whether we can do them, or whether we do a trade for them to do them and build houses on them. Problem is, once you give them that land,
You can't
then you're
dictate.
stuck with, okay, when are they gonna do it? And you're sort of waiting for the action plan to do it. So I think if you wanna do it, you need to do it with a, action plan and a scope of work, and when it has to be accomplished, and the penalties that will be served if you do not get it done within a certain period of time.
Can one of those provisions be showing proof of financial ability to build the structures?
I think definitely, I think you need to, you know, we have minimum requirements, the scope of work you want, and the time frame you want it done in. And that can be done by the board for those sections, as far as what CCNR's approved.
Now, this is the beginning of a hopefully long, ongoing project in the future.
We have a lot of things that we've taken over that need to either be hauled out or whatever.
Right,
So
removed.
it's something that can be considered.
And so instead of putting new modular homes or mobile homes,
Yeah.
start the process of building small, stick-built homes that are affordable for the people that would have bought the little modular homes. Maybe they'll buy a stick, and so that we start to progress through the transition of our neighborhoods to something that's
And
nice.
actually, I think there was even a plan before I got here, somebody was talking about working with one of the mobile home dealers, and they would set up a model and do trades for the existing old homes.
And then they remove
They
them.
would remove them
Yeah.
and get something else upgraded. But there are a lot of different options, but it's just something that should be talked about so that we can come up with some kind of plan in the future.
This is part of the ship starting to move forward. Again, slow going, but nevertheless, the right direction.
Explain, where is Unit 22?
It's, you know.
Chandler Road.
Chandler Road.
Right next, right by
Oh,
Travis.
oh, all right.
Yes, yes. So anyway, that's something that's, we can't probably do a whole lot more with that, but go ahead.
Would it be cost effective to have some volunteers come in and dismantle and then save the recyclables to sell back? And then we don't have to give the property to somebody?
I think that's a good idea, but I have to find out about our umbrella insurance. If it
Right,
covers
if you get
something
hurt.
like that. Because these homes are in pretty bad shape.
Yeah.
Are the ones that we're talking about, and I don't think they'll cover that. And that's one of our issues, it does not cover volunteer effort or something like that. So,
Okay,
that's
so,
right. Yeah, I've looked at that before.
shall we move on to the fitness center? Again, that's, you've already gone through that pretty
And
much.
this is the reason I proposed doing it where the existing teen center is, because neither one are operating. The fitness center is the only one that has HVA system that works, that I can get working quick. The adult center has the two side buildings. We're talking a major expense there in time. There are some other issues with the adult center that need to be resolved before we start actively working in there. Teen center's ready to go. And I think we can get decent equipment in there, the flooring where we need for a minimum effort, and get somebody, and it's also very easy to monitor. If you see where the adult center is, you have 3 separate buildings. And when you're running a fitness center, and you can't monitor the center and the fitness center at the same time. At the same time, if we changed it over, and we put camera systems and give it to something that can be monitored easily from one center location. The teen center set up that it's perfect for having somebody that can monitor the whole place. And we have to have somebody monitor it.
Yeah. Okay, again, we have a discussion item for the motel laundry. You've already brought that up. Any more you want to add to that? Any more questions about that, any of that? Good. We have no agenda items. The announcement is December calendar is filled with events happening this month. Really? No kidding, no kidding. But anyway, we just want you to know that they're working very hard to keep you all busy. There is, we just have this.
And you dispatches out also.
Right, right. We have the thing at the RV park this weekend about the cooking. I'm going to that. I've been to
Tomorrow
one.
at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, I've been to one before, it was great fun, they're teaching teenagers how to cook like the pioneers did, and I think it's awesome, so if you can get there and get a reservation, go, you bring your own lawn chair, you bring a drink, and you sit and watch them work. What more could you ask for?
It's $5.
$5, correct, and you get a full meal, dessert, the whole shooting match. So if you haven't been and you still can get in, I highly recommend it. There's a talk, hang on, there's a conversation about a New Year's party at Dickman Hall. Do we have any more information on that? But,
For members?
The RV committee is having
yes,
a
yeah.
spaghetti dinner on New Year's Eve
at the RV
at
park?
5 o'clock at the RV park, $10. You have to sign up to, you know, so you're gonna have to make reservations for it, right? Oh, she's not here, okay. Anyway, that's, the last I knew was that it's $10 for spaghetti dinner. It'll be New Year's Eve, probably around 5 o'clock, so then you can go from there and come over to Dickman Hall and get drunk later. So they won't interfere with each other is what I was getting at. $10, but you have to sign up. I think, I'm not sure who's taking the phone calls. I think Vicky is and Steve Fox,
I think Dennis is also,
Dennis Lett.
I think so.
Yeah. So, and there's a sign-up sheet. If you go to breakfast, they have a sign-up sheet on the table there, so you can just go sign up.
Okay, Emma, you want to say something?
Yeah, two things. The issue with the Fairway Circle Road by Ms. Metcalf's house, is that still pending?
It's still pending. There is another sinkhole
Yeah,
now.
developing.
It's developed in the last week.
Wow.
I have not received any notification exactly how they're going to treat that.
They have marked it, so,
They've got it marked out.
yeah, but
But that's,
what's going on?
In the cul-de-sac,
yeah,
Yeah,
I almost
Right in the
fell
center.
into last night.
yeah, that's the one.
I was told it was going to be fixed this coming week, is what a mud board member told me. So,
okay.
No, but no one has notified you of what the plan is.
And I've sent an email asking, and I have not received anything.
The second thing, there was an issue I had learned about the pool tables at the adult center. Did someone vandalize the covers on the pools, the pool tables?
Somebody who just can't play, there's a small cut.
Oh, okay, so they're not vandalized.
It's what happens when somebody tries to jump a pool ball and they cut the felt.
Is it
Okay.
fixable?
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Well, we have 5 pool tables. 2 there, 2 in the teen center, and we have 1 real high dollar one upstairs in Dickman Hall. The other 4 are all Brunswick. They're all good slate tables, but they all need to be recovered. I'm thinking that there's a company in San Marcos that does recovering pool tables. Maybe an idea to work with them as far as trading one good pool table and getting the other ones done, something like that.
Okay.
Because we don't use, we use 2 of them. That one upstairs in Dickman Hall is an extremely good pool table.
Okay. Okay, thank you. If everyone has answered all their questions, we will adjourn to executive session.
I have some.
Okay.
What was the cost of the HB, the
$6,500.
6,000? Okay. And Jerry, the new CPA?
Old CPA.
Oh,
He's the same one that did our audits before. He's not our.
and he's from San Angelo?
Yes,
Okay, so he's gonna be in there until the new one starts.
Jerry worked there.
I knew it was a funny last name. All right.
watch how you pick
We all
up.
set? So if everyone is,
And that HVAC system probably would have cost $5,500 or $5,000 6 months ago.
yeah, boy.
A year ago. That's how much things have gone down.
Okay, so if everyone is, reasonably up to snuff as to what we're doing, if you have the burning desire to volunteer, let me know, I'll find you something. We're gonna go out and start painting more of the piping fences around the fort. Does look good when they're done. So give me a call, I'd love to help you.
Oh, there's a,
Jan, are you
Why not?
volunteering? No,
No.
I'm sorry.
there's also a Black Eyed Pea dinner, January the 1st at the RV Park.
Oh, yeah,
Excellent.
yep. And by the way, Warren, we like your RV.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool. So, thank you for coming. We will be reconvening in case you come up with a question that didn't get answered, and have a great day. Well, the time is,
10:24.
thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. There we go. We are going into executive session.
What's on your mind?
Thank
Yeah, we didn't bring the flat out. Talk about doing that while it's out. It's just made of black. Yeah. I thought about that. I should probably do that. Get the
I don't know that yet.
just tape the window up and paint it.
No, it will not be good for us.
We had a bunch of kids do it. Yeah, I know.
Unless they did that.
I don't know why. We just thought black was better than white, but you never know until you do it. Yeah. You really are.
Yeah, we need to talk to Yeah, I'm gonna talk to.
You can't because it's loose and then the water goes right into the conduit over the edge of that. So I'm operating, and then there's one on the top of that that'll fill up where the water goes through the concrete, so it goes right into the conduit.
Okay, so what I need is to be
Yeah.